Hey, welcome back to the Nets Unbiased Views. They're fast, they're furious. Topics that we cover today. The third test in Sydney the teams have been announced. At least Team India has been announced. The Australian team is still a little bit murky. We'll talk a little bit about that. Kane Williamson again doing what he does best, back-to-back 200s, and Team Pakistan was humiliated in New Zealand. So with me is Arsh today. Arsh, welcome back.
Hey, thank you. I heard there was a classic interview which happened and I missed it.
It was pretty good. It was really awesome to talk to somebody who has been in the field of journalism for so long. Most sincerely, sir. But
Nice.
nonetheless, before we go anywhere, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you can, and give us a shout out. That would help us a lot, immense. I mean, that would be immense for us. So going back to yours, first test for third test announce a new cap for Saini. Happy with that?
Oh, yeah. He deserved it. It was a toss between Saini and Natarajan. So, and Saini has done fairly very well in the domestic leagues, domestic circuit. So he deserved it. With so the now the big question is with all the bowlers being fairly new, how how do we stand in? But I think that should with Australia adding in Podolski, right? Am I missing the name? Yeah,
Bukowski.
him and Warner coming in. He scored a century against us in the practice games, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be a challenge because their top order wasn't a big scare for us, but now it looks a little tricky. So till the time these two guys fire first like the first two, then it if the Australians fire, if Warner starts, you there's barely something that a bowler can do. Even a good bowler, when Warner fires, he just appreciates the way he plays. So
So with Warner, I think that it's a massive gamble that Australia is taking. It kind of shows that Australia is panicking. And the reason I say that is there are reports coming out from Australia that Warner is just 70% fit. And the fact that they have to have a need to replace the top order so drastically after the second test match kind of shows that they are panicking as much as they show that they are cool outside. There is a certain sense of panic that is happening in Australia. I do see Warner opening with Pukowski. Pukowski, who has had a decent run, and he had faced Siraj and Saini in the red in the
practice games.
domestic they had. But Bumrah will be something out of the books for him. It will be a different ball game altogether playing Bumrah.
Mm.
Interesting thing would be for me is you when you mentioned Saini and a toss up between Saini and Shardul and Natarajan.
Natarajan.
So the interesting stat is Shardul has played more domestic games. Saini, on the other hand, has 20 odd domestic games. I think 60 odd domestic games, and Natarajan just has 20. But all three of them have a similar strike rate when it comes to the domestic structure. So I thought that Rahane Paul might have just been looking for that X factor and looking for pace. Saini has definitely got a few more yards over these two guys. Natarajan, the only thing Natarajan brings is a left
The
arm variety.
variation, correct.
But now that Saini is in, let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope SCG
How
helps.
how I don't know. It was a tough decision between Mayank Agarwal and dropping Mayank Agarwal. I think he deserves the place. I think it's his place, and it's not the newcomer's place to be in. If he should have been pulled down, and I think I strongly believe that he deserves to be in rather than anything else.
I would agree. I would have put if it was up to me, I would have liked both KL Rahul and Rohit in the squad. But now that KL Rahul is injured and he's not in, I would have rather preferred Mayank over Hanuma Vihari. So I would have opened with Mayank and seen if Rohit could be pushed down the order. But then again, let's just since it has been announced, let's just keep the faith now. With Australia, I'm guessing there will be a brand new opening pair, and I think Travis Head will make way for Wade. Wade will be pushed down the order. Cummins has been Pattinson, actually. Pattinson, who was on the bench, will no longer be a part of third test. Pattinson actually fell down in his house, and I think he bruised his ribs really bad. So they are looking to replace somebody else on the bench as a backup. So unless either Stark or Patton or Cummins get hit on the head, we don't really see what's happening on the bench. But that could be, if needed, a concussion substitute. We know that Cummins is not Cummins, but Pattinson won't be available.
But he
So
was playing the Big Bash a couple of days back.
yeah, he that was a breaking news that just came in today. Uh, Moving to the next topic, I know we would like to keep it really short today. So moving to the next topic, I don't know if you were able to follow the New Zealand versus Pakistan match.
Oh yeah, I did. I did till the time Kane Williamson started whacking like there's no tomorrow, and he followed it up by not declaring and staying around for the next 3 overs till the debutant gets his debut century. So I followed till that time. I was in the game, and after that, I didn't expect much from Paki. So it's
I mean, once you pose a 650, you clearly know that you can set up aggressive fields and you cannot really,
of course.
you're pretty get the opposition out of it. So it was a timid affair by Pakistan in the end. And then, I started digging a little bit more into this Pakistan team and the structure. And there are reports coming out from Pakistan that Misbah ul Haq, when he reaches back, could be fired. Which would mean that the two coaches that they have shortlisted now, one is Andy Flower, who is a priority for them, and the next one is Gary Kirsten. Andy Flower, and again, it may be extremely superficial, but some reports say that Andy Flower, personal agreements with Andy Flower have not yet been met, and he will still continue being the priority. So we do not really know what is happening. But then there are the other.
When you say priority, what do you mean?
uh, Pakistan board is insisting that Andy Flower would be their first person of choice. If
Okay,
he refuses, then they move to Gary Kirsten.
okay.
So, especially with Pakistan cricket, and now that I had a chance to talk to Mohsin sir last week, I actually started digging a little bit into Pakistan cricket, and what was found out was in the last. And if you think about it, this is how it goes. In the last 3 years, the domestic structure has curtailed massively. Now they only have 6 teams to choose players from, so which gives them a pool of 180 or 190 odd players to pick their 26 odd first day contract players from, which means that from 6 teams, you're looking at 12 openers. So you get a chance to pick 12 openers for an overseas team, out of which they prefer players from Karachi and they prefer players from a certain section. So also, it doesn't really help the cause that Pakistan is just playing 2 or 3 test matches in a calendar year, which means that if a player fails in one test, by the time the next test series comes in, they have already forgotten his past performances and he gets a chance or he gets a get go again. So, because of this, there has been a massive decline in Pakistan's results. And if you look at how world cricket stands right now, you see these top teams like India, Australia, Pakistan, I mean, not Pakistan, England, and New Zealand. Then on the second tier, you see South Africa and Sri Lanka, who tend to do better overseas. And then there is the third tier, Bangladesh, West Indies, and Pakistan. And it is sad to see something like this happen with Pakistan. But, it is something that unless a change happens from the root where everything dissolves right from the entire board and a new board comes in, I do not really see how this is going to change for them. We are looking at a steady decline in Pakistan cricket.
So that can also be because these guys are not getting paid well, right? So
True.
when you compare it with an Indian league, or let's compare it with a domestic Indian circuit, okay? So the amount of money that BCCI, the amount of contract money that the BCCI offers is same as what MCA offers. MCA is a local Mumbai Cricket Association, which is just curtailing to Mumbai and provinces near Mumbai. It is not even Maharashtra. It is just Mumbai Cricket Association. So the amount of money is similar on both the ends. So the money that an international player is drawing extra is from the endorsements that he makes. Let that aside. So I am saying at the ground level, the ground pillar own, so there is money in the game in India, right? So you can afford you can choose that as a career, saying that you can make money there. Wherein as Pakistan, I don't see that happening because their list the top 25 that they're picking, they get around 7 to 8 lakhs per year as a contract. That is Virat Kohli's match fee per game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So and that
And
so Virat Kohli is drawing much more, and those are just when you take down economies, it's not good enough. And then if that's the reason why they get into match fixing, there's spot fixing, there's someone chewing the ball, someone scratching the ball, someone doing something on the ball they can't keep well. There's everything that follows. So
true.
just because there is no infra made for the players, so India has a beautiful infrastructure done right? So they have when you talk about players not coming up, a lot has to do with the infra. If there is
Absolutely.
no infra,
With everything has to do with the infrastructure.
correct.
But
So
been that has been the cause in the last 10 years. I mean, until the 90s, you had a Pakistan team which was competing overseas. It wasn't winning anything, but it was competing overseas. It was always a joy to watch India and Pakistan play. These
always,
days, India and Pakistan plays there is that certain element of joy, but even before the game, we know that this is just going one way unless something bad happens from India. It's
yeah.
not.
If Ravindra Jadeja manages to get Hardik Pandya run out, that's the only way.
No, and yeah, things like that. Unless that happens, we don't really see. Unless India plays bad, we don't really see the Pakistan cricket of the 90s. And
Defeating India, yeah, yeah.
yeah, oh well. So
So
let's see
I just
New Zealand.
want to point out one thing. Talking about Fawad Alam's stance in the last game, they did it right. A short ball to Fawad Alam would open his gates. So his
And,
natural movement is towards the towards the fuller balls, but one short ball gets a glove on it. So
and so many whistles, if you look at it, it wasn't like New Zealand bowled exceedingly well. Yes, Jameson is bowling really well, but most of the times the wickets that he got have been because Pakistan players tried to play an extravagant shot of a ball that could have very well been left alone. So it kind of also sets the mindset that players all over the world are not really ready for Test cricket. And if you think about it now, we talk about top four, top four, top four all around the world all the time. But Williamson is batting on a different planet. There is no one, two, three, four there. Williamson is way ahead of everybody else. And yes, some people do argue that Kohli is right there. He's dominating as well. And maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the consistency that Williamson has showed in the past few years is just exemplary. It's
it is. It is. He
and
is.
he
He's the
test
only player right now. He's the only player right now who I feel is leading the team right and following it up with the scores that he's doing.
yes,
So we have seen it in the past with Alistair Cook doing it. We have seen it in the past. So he is doing it right now.
absolutely.
So he's one of those guys right now, and I think he's the only player in the world in today's day and age who's following it up with amazing uh, scores. We've seen Rahane do it in the last game. So I hope this continues from Rahane. I hope this is going to be a good day tomorrow.
I hope so as well. And again, speaking of Williamson, I would say that he single-handedly, I wouldn't say single-handedly, but he has been absolutely instrumental in pushing New Zealand to that number one spot.
Absolutely,
All right,
absolutely.
guys. I guess that's all that we have for today.
Yeah, before we go, please hit the like, please subscribe, please give us a shout out, please make us reach as much number as you can help us go.
Thank you. All right, Ash, I will talk to you tomorrow, same time maybe, to
Done.
go over day.
Done. Done.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day. And wherever
Yeah.
you guys are, stay healthy, stay safe. Thanks.
Bye. Peace out.